Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Testing. That'll work. Everybody here from back there for that? All right. Well, thank you very much. My name is Bernie Olivas, Executive Director of Sumble Association. I'd like to welcome all the media for coming here for this press conference. Most of all, I'd like to thank both coaches for taking time out of their busy schedule. I know you know how it is at Bowl Week. They have some preparations to make, but I'd like to thank both coaches for being here. So we'd like to move on. The way this will work is I'll have Coach Johnson make a statement and then answer questions, and we'll follow that with Coach Whittingham after that. So at this moment, I'd like to introduce Coach Paul Johnson, Georgia Tech University.
Okay, thank you, Bernie. Let me just start out by saying how we're excited to be here in El Paso. We got in yesterday. I felt like that we had good preparation leading up to the bowl game. We practiced up until the 22nd of December, let our guys go home for Christmas, and we'll finish up this week. Looking forward to playing a quality opponent in the University of Utah. I think traditionally they've had strong football teams, and Coach Whittingham's record speaks for itself. He's done a great job. Certainly a lot of the strengths of their football team coincide with what looks like the strengths of our football team. If you compare the rushing defense, the defense to the rushing offense, and those type of things. So it ought to be an interesting matchup. Certainly they've got a very formidable group on defense. I think the defensive line is as good as we've played against, or possibly better than anybody we've played. So that'll be a challenge for us. They run well. The tailback White is a great player and has put up a lot of yards for them. So it'll be a challenge for our defense as well. But we're looking forward to having a chance to play in a bowl game. We haven't had a lot of success the last couple of years, and we're looking forward to having a chance to play again. So with that, I'll kind of throw it open for some questions.
Coach, can you talk about the challenge that you guys have with your options a little bit more?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge, it wouldn't matter what you were doing offensively, is trying to find a way to block the down guys. They're certainly very good. And the other problem that we'll have is they run well to the ball. I think that besides the defensive line, certainly the linebacker core and secondary are physical. They're good tacklers. They run to the ball, but that said, I mean, we're going to do what we do. We can't change what we do, so we'll just have to find a way to see if we can execute a little bit and maybe have some success.
Coach, can you talk about some of the specific players on Utah's defense? Who stood out to you on watching the film?
Well, with the risk of trying to pronounce some of the names, Star certainly is a good player, and having coached in Hawaii for 8 years, Lutalele, is that how they say it? Maybe, I don't know, I'll give it a shot. But certainly he's a tremendous player. I think Shelby, Kruger up front, they're all good players. I mentioned White, the running back. But, anytime you start naming individual guys, you're going to leave somebody out. And I think that you have to give them credit as a whole. They played really good as a defensive unit. But the guys up front certainly stick out.
Coach, is the mindset of the team going into this game better than than last year?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think it's a different team. Each team is different. Last year certainly was not the kind of year that we'd envisioned having. But you never know until you play. I've said all year, this is a fun group to coach. They've worked hard in bowl practice. We'll see if they continue to work hard the rest of the week. And I feel good where we are. I mean, I think we've worked hard. I don't know if we're good enough, but we'll find out.
Don't you think the game is more than just your rushing offense and Utah's rush defense? What do you think it's going to come?
Well, usually when you talk about that, that's usually not what matters. As big a, I think as big a difference in the game could be, can we stop their rushing attack? That's probably going to play as big a role as the other way. We used to be real honest. We've struggled with power running teams all year. So it's going to be a huge challenge to our front seven to see if we can slow them down running the ball, because if they have a lot of success running the ball, it'll probably be a long day for us.
And to follow up, I guess, with both teams liking to run the ball, this can be the shortest bowl game. And
No, actually, we probably played the shortest one last year against Air Force. I think it was over in about 1 hour and 40 minutes. But, you know, who knows? I'm sure that there are going to be some big plays, and you know, both teams, I know Utah's very capable of throwing the ball and hitting some big plays in the passing game. You got a big play receiver, and, you know, we'll have to do that as well. We're going to have to hit some big plays. They're too good on defense to try to grind it out.
Coach, you alluded a little bit to the Georgia Tech's record in bowls recently. How important is it to get that one, and why do you think it's been a little elusive?
Well, it's important. I think anytime you play, if you're competitive, you want to win. And each team's different, and you know, you move forward. My experience is all I can talk about. The last three times we played some pretty good teams. We should have won last year's bowl game and didn't. Take nothing away from Air Force, but we should have won that game. The other two games, you have to give LSU and Iowa credit. They're pretty good football teams. So, you know, we drew another pretty good football team this time, so we'll just have to see.
When you were in Navy, did you, and I have a question about elevation, did you even bring that up to players or to coaches, or is it something the less you mention it, the better?
No, we don't talk about it. I don't think it's a big deal unless you talk about it. So you'll probably want to talk about it.
Did you do any more conditioning than normal or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, we went to the highest water tower we could find in Atlanta. I mean, we conditioned the same way we always condition.
When you were at Navy, is that something you ever noticed? I mean, you obviously had a lot of success in Colorado Springs.
You know, I don't think Navy was as big a deal when I coached at the University of Hawaii. It was a bigger deal. We played Wyoming, Colorado State, Utah in that old Mountain West Conference. About every road game was at altitude. But I think it is what it is. I mean, you're not going to change it. You just get ready to play. You hope you're in good shape and play. Anybody else?
Coach, going back a little bit to Hawaii, you know, Utah's offensive coordinator was just named head coach there. Any thoughts on what it takes to win that program and some of the challenges you might face?
Well, I think that, you know, we were very fortunate when I was there. I think we won 9 games 2 or 3 years, won 11 years, won the league. And I think the big key to that was we were able to keep some of the local kids home. And that'll be key for Norm. I'm excited for him. I think that being from there, certainly I know that that's a job that he's looked at through the years. And when I saw that he got the job, I was really happy for him. It's well deserved. He's had a great career, and I think he'll do a good job there. Okay, guys, thanks.
Thank you, Coach Johnson. Next, from the University of Utah, Kyle Whittingham, again, statement, and then open for questions. Coach?
Okay. Thank you, Bernie. It's great to be here at the Sun Bowl. Off to a great start outside of my dancing with the mariachi band. That was something that may not have been a highlight, but so far we've had a great time, great event last night, and we look forward to an exciting week, and most of all, an exciting game on Saturday. First thing is, you know, credit to Coach Johnson and Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I mean, a great football team, one of the best rushing football teams in the country, top 3 in the nation in rushing. Them, Air Force, and Navy are the top 3 in the country, all, no surprise, running that triple option. And so we've got our hands full, we've got our work cut out for us, without a doubt. Fortunately, we've got a little background in it, you know, having come from the Mountain West and playing Air Force every year for the past many years. That's given us a chance to develop some things that we like against the option. But even in all those years, you never truly stop an option offense. You just try to slow it down, and the best way to do that is to try to control the ball with your own offense and keep their offense on the sideline. And that's something that's going to be critical if we can make some first downs and convert some third downs, and most of all, take care of the ball. You know, we can't turn it over. And so They've got a lot of great players. The quarterback is a tremendous player. He's really the catalyst for what they're doing. He's leading the team in rushing. He's very efficient when he throws the ball. They don't throw it a lot, 12 to 15 times a game, but they get exactly what they need out of the throw game, efficiency-wise. Big-time receiver in Hill. He's got, 30 yards a catch, which I've never heard of a receiver in a season getting 30 yards a catch, and so he's a big play guy. Defensively, Burnett, the linebacker, is a tackling machine. He's got well over 100 tackles, not a real big guy, but tough and active, and my kind of guy. He reminds me of those linebackers like Zach Thomas and those guys, those undersized middle linebackers that are so productive. As far as our own preparation, we practice up until the 23rd. We took off about noon on the 23rd, sent them home for Christmas. We gathered back down here yesterday, got a walkthrough in yesterday, and a little bit of conditioning today. We're treating this just like a normal game week. Today's a normal Tuesday practice, and the rest of the week will unfold just like it did during the season. So we expect normal preparation, and understand it's going to be great weather for the game, and we're excited. It's a great opportunity to play an excellent football team in Georgia Tech. So happy to be here.
Coach, can you talk a little bit more about your preparation for that option and what you guys have done specifically?
Yeah, well, like I said, we've had the opportunity in the past to we've been through a bunch of different schemes trying to stop the option. And like I said, you're not going to stop it, but if you can just keep it under control. And so we jumped right into defending the option, in our bowl prep. I hope our offense doesn't suffer too much. There's been very little crossover or good on good because it's not doing our defense any good to face a conventional offense. And so we've just done the bare minimum there as far as crossover. Most of the time defensively has been spent and geared towards trying to slow down the option. But our preparation has been very good. We had 10 practices. We got in 10 practices before we left for the bowl site, or broke for Christmas and then got to the bowl site, and then we'll finish off with the 5 practices here, counting our walkthroughs.
Now, do you see this game as more than their offense against your rush defense?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, there's a lot more, many more dynamics to it than just that. That is it should be a good matchup. We fared pretty good against the run this year, and like I said, their rush offense is outstanding, just about 6 yards a carry, which is what you want if you're a triple option team. That's right where you want to be, and as far as efficiency in the run game. But there's going to be a lot of other things. Special teams is always a big factor. For us, that's something that we place a great deal of emphasis on, and so that's got to be something that we play well in that phase. And like I said, offensively, controlling the football. Look at our season. And the games we won, the majority of the games we win the turnover margin, and the vast majority of the games we lose the turnover margin. And so that's common throughout football, but that was especially true for us this year. And if you look at, I think there was only one game where that didn't bear out. It was as far as the turnover margin being a key to the game.
You anticipate this being a very fast game as well?
Well, we'll see. If you look at both teams committed to the run, it should be a game that clips along, but you never know. We just have to see how it unfolds.
Coach, can you talk about Devontae Christopher and how he's developed?
Did he tweet something this week or something?
Not that I know of.
All right, good. Thank goodness.
But just as a player on and off the field this year.
Yeah, Devontae's a big play guy for us. He's our leading receiver. Converted quarterback, so he's still learning the subtle nuances and details of the position, but he's made a lot of progress. He's a guy that has great body control. He's able to get body position on a defensive back and go up and make those acrobatic plays. You've seen him do that several times over the course of his career at Utah. And so he's been our #1 receiver all year long. He's been a little dinged up this year with some minor nagging injuries, but he's healthy right now and ready to go.
Since you brought it up, is the whole Twitter thing.
Brought that up. Yeah.
Has he, do you think that he learned anything from that episode?
Hopefully we all learned something, yeah, and I'm positive he learned something, and vicariously, hopefully the rest of the team did, but our team has been pretty good about that. We're not perfect, and we have our issues from time to time, but I think our guys have handled themselves very well this year for the most part.
Any ban on Twitter this week?
No, I just leave it to, we have our certain parameters and guidelines as far as Twitter and Facebook and and they've done a nice job adhering to all those guidelines. So as long as they use common sense and good judgment, I'm good with that. I hate to take those mediums away. I mean, it's part of their life. It is what it is now. It's not going to change.
Coach, how did your first year in the Pac-12 go?
First year in the Pac-12, it was very, very competitive, which is what we expected. No surprises, I can tell you that for sure. We watched the tape all summer long. We knew what the level of competition was going to be. Didn't count on losing our quarterback in the second Pac-12 game. That was a setback for us. But we struggled early, 0-4 out of the gate in Pac-12 play, but our guys rallied and hung together and showed a lot of resiliency. And very proud of them for how they hung in there and ended up winning 4 of our last 5 conference games, 1 game away from playing in the inaugural Pac-12 championship game. So had a chance to really finish on a positive note, but we didn't get it done. Colorado did a great job, had a nice game plan, outplayed us on that Saturday. But otherwise, I think it was a good start in our transition into a new league. But it's very obvious that we've got to continue to work hard in a lot of different areas, recruiting, facilities, everything. I mean, we've got to keep working and trying to compete.
Coach, is there 1 or 2 things you can point to as to why you guys have been able to have so much success in bowl games?
Yeah, I think it's the one overriding factor is the way our players approach the bowl preparation. I don't think we have any magic practice formula or routine that is markedly better than anybody else. It's the way our players approach it. They work hard, they're focused. The bowl is a reward for a season well played, but at the same time, it's a chance to win another ball game. And that's the approach our players take, is a chance to try to get another victory. And they work hard. I mean, like I said, it's not go out and run around and no pass for 60 minutes and call it good. We go out just like we do during the regular season. We run the gassers. We run, we do all the same things as far as routine that we do in the regular season. But the key is how they approach it, their mentality, their attitude.
How do you balance the fun element of being in the bowl side?
Yeah, you don't want to make it so you win. You get to go to a bowl game. They go, oh no, we got to go to a bowl game. You don't want that mentality. And so I think we've done a pretty good job of giving them their space and letting them have a good time, particularly on site at the bowl, and but still, managing to not let your preparation time interfere with your recreation time. And so I think our guys have done a nice job through the years of separating that. When it's time to work, they work, and when it's time to have a good time, they let their hair down and have a good time.
Have you had colleagues, at other schools ask you, what do you guys do and that? Is that?
Oh yeah, a lot. Coaches call and you visit with other coaches, and I'm, as much as anyone else, trying to gather information from other coaches. We don't have all the answers. We don't profess to, but with our success, particularly recently, we have guys that want to know how you structure things, when do you practice, how long do you practice, what your lead-in is to the bowl, and we share that information. We're not guarded. We don't, like I said, we don't think we have a corner on the market of any secret formula. It's the mentality and the attitude.
Like what you're saying is routine is pretty much exactly the same as
Well, I wouldn't say exactly the same. We have a model, a bowl preparation model, but it's tweaked from year to year depending on the timing of the bowl. And so unless you went to the BCS in the Mountain West, your bowl game typically happened early, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere there in December. So it was an abbreviated schedule. We've had some bowl games in the past, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Liberty Bowl, that were post-Christmas, more towards New Year's Day. And so we modify it and tweak it based upon when that timing of the bowl occurs. But the same, in essence, it's the same mentality and the same routine. It's just stretched out or compressed depending on the timing of the bowl. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for being here. I know the coaches have to get back to meetings and to practice, so this concludes our head coaches press conference. Thank you for being here, and I think we have another one tomorrow with our coordinator, so Thursday, I'm sorry. Thank you all for being here. Coaches, you too. Thank you for being here, coaches.